What's up, guys? This is Jordan from Them Evils, and I'm blowing it up with the Mighty Z on Capital Chaos TV.
Hey, everybody. This is Zoran Theodorovich, a.k.a. the Mighty Z of Capital Chaos TV and Metal Gods Radio. We have Jordan from Them Evils on the phone. How's it going, Jordan?
It's going good, man. Just hanging out in Huntington Beach, soaking up the sun, drinking some coffee.
Nice, nice. And how important is coffee in the morning? Are you black or with cream and sugar?
Oh, I like my coffee like my women, black.
Let's see here. So are you a Pete's guy? Is the Nescafe? Are you a coffee snob? I know some people are really big on different coffees. Is it a big deal with you?
You know, it's not a big deal. I like Keurig. I like the Starbucks grinded coffee. It's all the same, but I'm not a fan of it with cream and sugar. I just like hot bean water.
And how has the coronavirus affected the band and you personally?
I've looked at it as more of a positive thing. We've gotten a lot done business-wise. We've gotten a lot of things figured out with our singles, what we're going to release, if we're going to rebook a tour, if it's going to get rescheduled to 2021 or the end of 2020. We've just been doing a lot of things just as rebranding our logo and our look and everything like that. So it's been a lot of business side of the band opposed to going out there and touring and playing live because that's what we're so used to. So we kind of got to take a step back and figure all that stuff out that we've been kind of putting on the back burner for the last year.
I would say that the new logo looks amazing. Who did you work with on that?
So that was the guy named Joby Ford. He's actually in the band called The Bronx. He's done albums. He's done the Killers album. He's done Every Time I Die's album. He's just done a lot of really high-profile photo or album covers. And he actually lives here in Huntington Beach as well. And I got to get his contact from a bar regular, and he said, this guy does really, really killer work. You should check out his website. And then I was sold right then and there. And I gave him a holler via email, and everything just worked out. It only took like a week or two to get everything figured out, and it was a really smooth process.
It's almost got like a little bit of a Van Halen feel to it.
Yeah, we kind of took that, like the Van Halen and the Strokes logo, and we kind of just made it look modern, but still with like a classic vibe. But I think it's way better than our older logo.
Let's talk a little bit about your ethnic background, where you're from, where you spent most of your life, and what's kept you there.
Oh, well, I was born in Vegas. And then we moved to Utah I went there for school, and then I moved back to Vegas, and then I just decided to come to California to play rock and roll. And the rest has been history. I've been here for about 6-7 years, and it's been a killer time.
Have you delved much into your ancestry, and was religion a big part of your upbringing?
Religion, definitely not. No, not a fan of it. I don't have anything against it. I don't have anything against people that, like religion. It's just not my thing. I'm a facts guy. I like proof. I like tangible proof. And there seems to be none of that with religion and spirituality. So, yeah, it's not a big thing for me. But ancestry, no. I think I'm Indian, like Native American, and I believe Irish.
How did you first get into music? What was your introduction to heavy rock and roll?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. I was my 13th birthday, and my uncle, he gave me a Metallica Master of Puppets CD, and after that, my life was changed. I grew up listening to metal, Judas Priest, Megadeth, Slayer, Metallica, of course, Iron Maiden, King Diamond, and I just loved that stuff. And then I got hooked on 90s grunge music, and that kind of opened up more of like a rock and roll thing for me, and it wasn't just so heavy metal, because heavy metal is, it's kind of stuck in a box. It's not repetitive, but it's all pretty similar. It's just a very niche kind of type of music. As to rock and roll, there's alternative, there's blues, there's, pop rock, and there's just a whole bunch of different types of rock and roll. And I started listening to that more, and blues, and just really good guitar music and good vocal melodies. People like Gary Clark Jr., John Mayer, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, all that stuff.
Are you a collector at all? Do you have a vast record collection? What would you say is your most prized music collectible?
I have a pretty good amount of records. I don't listen to them much. I do collect them, so they just kind of sit in my little collection treasure chest. But my favorite vinyl ever, it's called High, Live, and Dirty. It's Jimi Hendrix, and it's actually a red vinyl, red see-through vinyl. And it's never been released. I think it might be a bootleg, and it says X-rated on it. And I think it's Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, and Ginger Baker. They were just jamming, and they were completely shit-faced, and they're just screaming obscenities and just playing random things, not even in key or in tune or in time, but it's just one of the coolest things you've ever heard.
That is very cool. Wow. Where did you score that?
I got it at some used record store down here in Huntington Beach.
I've noticed that up here in the Bay Area, record stores are still a thing. I would imagine them to be still a thing in Southern California as well. Is that right?
They're very few and far between. There's a few of them. Most of them aren't record shops. They're like clothing stores and vintage shops. I don't think people can afford, their overhead by just only selling records. So they got to kind of step into a different demographic. I would say like Urban Outfitters, how they serve, or they sell mostly clothes and then vinyl on the side, even though they're the world's top selling vinyl store. But yeah, I think they're few and far between. There's, like I said, there's none that are just vinyl shops. They always end up going out of business.
Let's talk about the single and your recent collaborations.
Yeah, so we worked on this single with Jim Kaufman, Kevin Thrasher, and Aaron Edwards. Jim Kaufman produced the song. We co-wrote it with Aaron and Thrasher. It was just one of those songs that kind of came together in a day. We really enjoyed it. We did that song and another song, and they were probably our two favorite on the record with Aaron and Thrasher. We just had a really good vibe. We all understood the direction we wanted to go with the songs, and they're very talented dudes. We came up with each demo in a day, and we're just excited for everyone to listen to them.
How soon can we expect a full length, and are they necessary anymore?
Full length from us, I think that's still in the talks. Full length records, are they, worth it anymore? In my opinion, I don't think so. A lot of bands and a lot of artists, a lot of rap artists are doing singles, and that keeps people entertained because most people just listen to a song or two on the record anyway. But I think if you drop singles or variations of the song being acoustic or unplugged or a live version after you've released the initial song, I think that's a good way to keep people entertained, and then drop another single and then drop another single a month later, and then eventually drop, 90% of the album. And then when you do release the album, put a song or two on there that no one has heard so they buy the full album, But I think selling albums, it's mostly a thing for tour. No one goes to the record store and buys, CDs, maybe vinyl, but it's a good thing to kind of have on tour because it's like memorabilia. It's a memento. You could sign it, and I think it's more of a merch thing than it really is a listening experience now.
Talk a little bit about the upcoming tour with the Pretty Reckless, and have you learned any of their songs in case they invite you up to jam?
So that tour, it was postponed. There's talks about it being rescheduled in September. It's looking like that's not likely because that's in, a month and a half, 2 months. It's looking more like 2021. And I think I did learn a few of their songs back in the day when we toured with them like 2 or 3 years ago. Ben's just a great guitar player. He's got killer riffs, and, Taylor's a great singer. But I would love to go up there and jam with them. It'd probably be a cover song, like Soundgarden, because I know that's her favorite band, or like Audio Slave. But I would be totally open to going up there and jamming with them. That'd be really cool.
Have you had an opportunity to do that with other bands that you've toured with?
Yeah, we've done that with a few bands. We did it with Pop Evil every night. We just hopped on stage and grabbed guitars and played some songs.
That's great. So there's a little bonding experience that goes on some tours from time to time.
Yeah, totally. No, that's a part of touring. Like if you're not friends with the band, or you don't make friends with them or have a good time with them, it's awkward. You got to break the ice the first day or two and show your personality and get to know everyone and get to know who you can be close with and who you should stay away from. And everyone there on tour is there to help each other. Their road crew is our road crew. Our road crew is theirs. Everyone helps, and that's how it should be. It should be a camaraderie, a lot of teamwork. And if you're lazy, it shows, and you'll get sent home.
How did Them Evils get together, and what inspired the band name?
Them Evils was formed by Jake and I. We were in Vegas. We were there for about a year. We started the band. The other two guys weren't really dedicated, and they weren't down to move because they were still, living at home with mommy and daddy. And they just didn't have the balls to, do what it takes to come to California. So Jake and I moved. It took about a year to find David. And ever since then, we found him, and we were just, touring relentlessly, playing shows in LA, taking every show we can get, just releasing songs and shoving our music down people's throats. Yeah, that's how we started. But, you were asking about the band name. My mom was actually driving through Temecula, California, and she spelled Temecula wrong, and her phone auto-corrected it to Them Evils. And she texted me, she was like, "Bud, I got a really cool band name for you." I was like, "What?" She said, "Oh, it's Them Evils," and she told me the story, and then we changed the band name that day.
Yeah, autocorrect rocks. There's been many times where it's corrected things that I've said, and I actually prefer the autocorrect to what I intended. It works out quite well that way, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't.
Well, then you correct it, right? So,
yeah. Or you get band names like Them Evils.
Oh, yeah. It's a good name.
It is.
It's a really good name.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's short and sweet. Rolls off the tongue quite well.
Just how I like it.
And then obviously it's got evil in it, and that's rock and roll as fuck, right?
That is rock and roll as fuck, yes.
How many cover songs are part of the Them Evils arsenal, if necessary?
We do Motorhead, we do a few AC/DC songs, we know a few Nirvana songs. We know a lot of some Alice in Chains, some Metallica. I mean, I'd say there's about 10 cover songs that we could get away with pulling live. Sorry. You could only get away with playing 2 cover songs. You don't want to go crazy with it because you just come off as a cover band. You don't come off as an original. And people are going to remember the covers that you played and not your actual songs. So you got to be very careful stepping into that territory playing live, especially with bigger bands. Because they'll do a cover or two. They'll just do it to pump the crowd up. to kind of change the monotony of the set, and you got to use it sparingly, and you got to use it very tastefully. It's not just something that you just throw in there.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I was recently in a band in Sacramento, and the amount of covers that the singer just made us play was just ridiculous. But, that's what he wanted. It was his vision, not mine. It's all good, though.
Yeah.
What's the worst advice you've been given as far as touring goes?
Worst advice?
Yes.
I'm not a fan of bad advice. I just like good advice. The only good advice I could say is, get along with everyone, have a good attitude, carry wet wipes so you can wipe your ass, have a few pairs of underwear and a few pairs of socks because things get dirty.
And what other interests do you have outside of music?
I bartend. I like to do that. I like to work out. But music is just number one, man. It's music all day long. There's not very many things that I do. I hang out with my fiance, we go out and get dinner here and there. I'll play a few games of Call of Duty, but I feel like everything else just distracts me, and I feel like a bum if I'm not, listening to music or playing guitar or, trying to do something for the band.
What have you listened to? What have you heard lately? Have you heard anything new lately? Is there anything that you're obsessing on outside of your own music? That is.
It's not new, but I've been obsessing with Stone Temple Pilots lately. Mostly the core album, and I've been breaking down all that songwriting and kind of figuring out how they, write their songs and how Scott Weiland puts his vocal melodies on top of all those killer guitar riffs. It's something that I can't do, play a technical riff and sing over it, especially like a band like Stone Temple Pilots. We would need like a second guitar player for that. But I'm just trying to, I always try to break down music regardless of what band it is. A lot of Led Zeppelin, Royal Blood, a lot of Queens of the Stone Age as well.
Well, thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you again when you get back out on the road. Do you have any final thoughts that you might want to share to anybody that might be listening to this?
Yeah, listen to our new song, Where Are You Gonna Crash Tonight? If you can, download it for free. Give it to all your friends. If not, spin it on Spotify or Apple Music. Check us out on our Instagram at Them Evils, our Facebook at Them Evils, our Twitter at Them Evils, and then visit our website at www.themevils.com. We got a new shirt up there, and that shirt is actually a part of those proceeds are going to benefit the USG Foundation and Music Cares for people that, aren't working right now because the music industry is down, and the USGB Foundation is for servers and bartenders because Jake and I work in the service industry, and we're just doing our part to help, and especially with the Black Lives Matter movement right now, we're probably going to be donating a fair share to that as well. We're just trying to do our thing, and we want everyone to know and be part of the movement. So want everyone to share the love. So check out themevils.com.